Well, transportation in the Big Country, or more specifically, the towns in Abilene's general vicinity, that may soon see a major change in the way highway construction is planned.
The Abilene Metropolitan Planning Organization approving an expanded boundary that includes 6 area towns. While nothing is final just yet, the project is nearing the home stretch. And KTAB's Noah McKinney digging deeper to explain what that means for Taylor, Jones, and now Callahan counties.
At any regular meeting, the 5 voting members of the Abilene MPO, or Metropolitan Planning Organization, would discuss and vote on projects to improve state and county highways and other mass transit features like sidewalks. But their meeting on April 16th stands to dramatically change the area in which those federal, state, and local funds are allocated.
Over the last 20 years, the region has changed considerably, and so that's really what brings us here today.
Infrastructure consulting firm transportation planner Matt Genova addressing the board on the planned expansion of the Abilene MPO's operating boundary. An MPO is federally mandated in any city with a population of 50,000 or more. This project would expand from this boundary that was adopted in 2006 to include 7 new towns and reach into Callahan County for the first time.
One of the main goals of this overall process is to make sure that communities feel as though their voice is being heard in the draft boundary.
Under the MPO, each town would have a representative present on the TAC, or Technical Advisory Committee, and the Callahan County judge would join the policy board proper. In keeping with the intention of making voices heard, the initial boundary draft has been revised, no longer extending up into Anson.
They felt that being included in the boundary at this time is not something that is necessary for them.
Anson Mayor Pro Tem Robbie Patterson expressing to me in an interview that the city is concerned about the possible construction of a highway that would bypass the heart of the town, feeling that participation may further that perceived goal. Also voicing concern about the attention, or lack thereof, that Anson may receive given the sheer number of other included areas. The city of Ty, which has been a part of the MPO since '06, making known its concerns at a previous meeting.
Over the several years that I've been a staff member for the city of Ty, I have not seen any outreach from this organization at all. I don't think there'd be any disadvantages to being included, but I haven't seen any advantages to being included also.
Some other city representatives at that previous meeting did come up to state their willingness to join.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion is approved and goes on to the governor's office.
With the board's unanimous decision on Tuesday, this boundary and new MPO bylaws will go to the state governor's desk for final approval, at which point it comes back to the board for the final discussion of bylaws. For BigCountryHomepage.com, I'm Noah McKinney.
Thank you, Noah. Funding was also discussed at the meeting, Geneva stating that with every shifting border of other state MPOs and the recent addition of an MPO in Eagle Pass, it cannot be accurately determined how the increased population and travel of the expanded border would impact funding to the Abilene area.